Welcome to Making a Murderer, Rubberducky YouTube channel. Welcome back, you guys, to a brand new week of our daily MaM Reading CASO Investigative Reports. We're doing pages 401 through 410, part 41. Page 401, type of activity, follow up on tip information. Date of activity, blank. Reporting officer, investigator Gary Steyer. On 11/10/05 at 2:02 p.m., the Calumet County Sheriff's Department had received information from Shannon P. Schroeder, female, white, date of birth 08/07/65, from 2327 County Highway VV, Mishcot. Shannon reported he had seen black smoke north of their property at approximately 11 o'clock a.m. Investigator Steyer and DCI agent Schmidt met a William Arndt at Shannon Schroeder's residence on County Highway VV. William indicated they had confirmed this was the wrong area. The fire was actually on County Highway B at a brick house which was being destroyed. Investigator Steyer also spoke with Shannon Schroeder telephonically. Shannon also confirmed the black smoke which they had seen on 10/31/05 they had again observed on a different date following the Monday in question. Shannon indicated this was a house that was being torn down. Investigator Gary Steyer, Calumet County Sheriff's Department. Page 402, type of activity, supplemental report. Date of activity, blank. Reporting officer, Deputy Jeremy Hawkins. On 12/19/05, I, Deputy Jeremy Hawkins, of the Calumet County Sheriff's Department, was requested by Investigator Wiegert to locate the following items for transport to the Wisconsin State Crime Lab in Madison by Deputy Rick Reamer of the Calumet County Sheriff's Department. With the help of Deputy Reamer, the following items were loaded onto an enclosed trailer. 3 55-gallon barrels with miscellaneous items inside, bearing property tag numbers 642, 643, and 644. A 50-gallon burning barrel that was 1/2 full of material, bearing property tag number 7102, and 2 other metal barrels with burnt material bearing property tag numbers 7921 and 7922. A brown tarp with burnt material bearing property tag numbers 7923, and 4 5-gallon buckets of burnt material bearing property tag numbers 7947, 7948, 7958, and 7963. Some commingling metal, battery jumper, and dog leash bearing property tag number 7946, and also some commingled wire and metal bearing property tag number 7950. The 13 items were loaded onto the enclosed trailer, were signed over to Deputy Reamer. Investigator Mark Wiegert signed over custody of the following items that he received from the Wisconsin State Crime Lab, which are as follows: a Toyota key bearing property tag number 7620, a single key bearing property tag number 8114, a set of 2 keys on a 2003 keyring bearing property tag number 8012, a box of contents of cell phone barrel, property tag number 8316. The 4 items Investigator Wiegert brought back from the Wisconsin State Crime Lab were all put into secure evidence storage. On 12/20/05, Deputy Reamer returned from the Wisconsin State Crime Lab, where he returned 39 items from the Wisconsin State Crime Lab. Deputy Reamer returned 5-gallon buckets of the debris pile, bearing property tag numbers 8656, 8699, 8484, 8659, 8687, 8685, 8684, 8662, 8698, 8658, 8651, 8686, 8652, 8653, 8695, 8650, 8654, 8644, 8657, 8655, 8649, 8663, and 8661. Page 403. The 23 5-gallon buckets of debris from the debris pile were all signed over to me and placed into secure storage. Burn pile ash bearing property tag number 8481 and 8480 burnt material bearing property tag numbers 7954, 7963, 7958, 7948, and 7947 were also signed over to me and placed into secure storage. The 3 55-gallon barrels with miscellaneous items bearing property tag numbers 642, 643, and 644, the 50-gallon burning barrel that was one half full of material bearing property tag number 7102, and also the 2 metal barrels with burnt material bearing property tag numbers 7921 and 7922 were unloaded, signed over to me, and placed into secure storage. The brown tarp with burned material bearing property tag number 7923 and also the commingled metal battery jumper and dog leash bearing property tag number 7946 and the commingled wire and metal bearing property tag number 7950 were unloaded, signed over to me, and placed into secure storage. Deputy Reamer also brought back a box bearing property tag number 8313. The box with property tag number 8313 was empty when Deputy Reamer released it to me. The contents of the box remain at the Wisconsin State Crime Lab. Deputy Jeremy Hawkins, Calumet County Sheriff's Department. Page 404. Type of activity, supplemental report. Date of activity, 010606. Reporting officer, Deputy Jeremy Hawkins. On 010606, I, Deputy Jeremy Hawkins, was asked by Investigator Wiegert to get a box containing the contents of a cell phone barrel, property tag number 8316, out of evidence for transport to the FBI. The box with the contents of the cell phone barrel was placed into evidence locker number 5. The evidence locker key was given to Sheriff Jerry Pogel. The box with the contents of the cell phone barrel was signed over to Sheriff Pogel. Deputy Jeremy Hawkins, Calumet County Sheriff's Department. Page 405. Type of activity, supplemental report. Date of activity, 01/12/06. Reporting officer, Deputy Jeremy Hawkins. On 01/12/06, Deputy Reamer and I, Deputy Jeremy Hawkins, transported a blue and color golf cart bearing property tag number 8666 in an enclosed trailer back to Calumet County Sheriff's Department to be processed. The golf cart was to be processed by Deputy Reamer and me. The golf cart was placed in a sally port. A black possible hair strand was located on the seat of the golf cart. The possible hair strand was collected by me and was logged into evidence with property tag number 8091. Deputy Reamer and I started to process the golf cart, looking for any traces of blood or bodily fluids. The seat of the golf cart and also the floorboard of the golf cart were sprayed with luminol. Both areas that were sprayed with the luminol showed a reaction to the luminol. Investigator Wiegert was also informed of this. We were informed by Investigator Wiegert to stop processing the golf cart, and it would be sent down to the Wisconsin State Crime Lab in Madison to be processed further. The golf cart was loaded back onto the enclosed trailer and transported back to the secure area where it is being held. Deputy Reamer and I returned to the Calumet County Sheriff's Department. Bone fragments bearing property tag number 7955 were signed over to Investigator Wiegert to be delivered to Dr. Leslie Eisenberg in Madison. Once the bone fragments were released to Investigator Wiegert, Deputy Reamer and I went to secure evidence storage area to photograph all the items that were at the Calumet County Sheriff's Department that pertained to case number 0501-57955. The items for case number 0501-57-955 were to be photographed for Special Prosecutor Kenneth Kratz. The items for the Avery Halbach case were opened, photographed, and sealed by Deputy Reamer and I. At approximately 3:00 p.m., Sergeant Bill Tyson of the Calumet County Sheriff's Department assisted in photographing and repackaging the items pertaining to case number 0501-57-955. On 01/13/06 at approximately 6:30 a.m., Deputy Reamer and I continued photographing and repackaging the items for case number 050157-955. At approximately 8 o'clock a.m., Sergeant Bill Tyson assisted with the photographing and repackaging of items for case number 050157-955 when Deputy Reamer, Sergeant Tyson, and I went back to the page 406 area where Teresa Hallbach's RAV4 vehicle is being held in secure storage. A number of bags sealed by the Wisconsin State Crime Lab were located in the rear cargo area of the vehicle. Located in the rear cargo area of the RAV4 was a tripod for a camera, 8 paper bags containing items that were located by the Wisconsin State Crime Lab inside the RAV4, and also a silver cardboard box. The 8 paper bags, the cardboard box, and the tripod were taken out of the RAV4. Also, on the driver's seat was an envelope containing bolts for the drive shaft. The envelope containing the bolts, the 8 paper bags, the tripod, and also the silver cardboard box were taken back to the Calumet County Sheriff's Department. The tripod, the silver in color cardboard box, and the envelope containing the bolts were photographed. The items in the 8 paper bags were photographed and all repackaged. All items that were taken from the RAV4 were logged and placed into secure storage. Deputy Jeremy Hawkins, Calumet County Sheriff's Department. Page 407. Type of activity supplemental report. Date of activity 01/17/06. Reporting officer Deputy Jeremy Hawkins. On 01/17/06, I, Deputy Jeremy Hawkins, along with Nick Mersenberger of Peathens Towing, transported the light blue in color golf cart bearing property tag number 8666 to the Wisconsin State Crime Lab. The light blue in color golf cart was signed over and released to Dolores Larson. I was also asked by Investigator Weger to release all items that contained possible bone material to Dr. Leslie Eisenberg. The following items were taken to the Dane County Coroner's Office and released to Deputy Coroner Barry Erdman. Property tag number 7960 burnt bone, property tag number 7964 burnt bone pieces, barrel number 2. Property tag number 8675 contents of debris pile, property tag number 8701 bone not suspected to be human. Property tag number 7942 bone fragment box with vials of hair, fiber, and metal. The 5 items released to Deputy Coroner Barry Erdman were signed over to him. Deputy Jeremy Hawkins, Calumet County Sheriff's Department. Page 408. Type of activity, supplemental report. Date of activity 01/31/06. Reporting officer Deputy Jeremy Hawkins. On 01/31/06, I, Deputy Jeremy Hawkins, was asked to send hair/fibers bearing property tag number 8676 to the Wisconsin State Crime Lab in Madison. The hair/fibers bearing property tag number 8676 were packaged and sent to the Wisconsin State Crime Lab in Madison via certified mail. Deputy Jeremy Hawkins, Calumet County Sheriff's Department. Page 409. Type of activity, second interview of Lori A. Dassey. Date of activity 02/01/06. Reporting officer investigator Mark Wiegert. On 02/01/06 at approximately 1500 hours, I, Investigator Wiegert, of the Calumet County Sheriff's Department, along with DCI Special Agent Tom Fassbender, went to Lori Dassey's residence in the city of Two Rivers. Upon arrival, Lori invited us into the residence, and we spoke with her in the dining room area of her residence. We informed Lori we wished to speak with her in regards to her ex-husband, Steven Avery. Lori states as long as she has been divorced, he still scares, quote, the hell out of me. I informed Lori we had information that she had written some letters to Steven while he was in prison. Lori stated she, in fact, had written some letters. I told Lori we had information that the letters were threatening in nature in regards to the children and possibly in reference to hurting herself. Lori stated she wrote him the letters because he wanted to know what was going on in the house. She states she basically used him as a way to vent, especially when the kids were misbehaving. She states she would write in letters just like other parents do when they talk to their husbands and say things such as why did I ever have children? I asked Lori if she had ever stated anything in the letters about wanting to commit suicide or harm the kids. She stated she does not recall anything like that. Again, she stated she was just venting to Steven about the kids misbehaving. Lori did state to me that she might have said in one of the letters that if the kids keep it up, she's going to kill the SOBs. She stated it was just normal talk again, as her husband and wife would talk. Lori indicated to me this was all prior to her divorce. Lori stated once she was divorced, she no longer really had any contact with Steven. Lori stated that Steven's mother would pick the kids up and take them to visit Steven in prison, and the kids would come home with cards and letters. The cards and letters would state such things as Steven wanted to kill her and stuff. I asked Lori what spurred the divorce, to which Lori stated it was Steven's idea, and Steven told her he wanted her out and wanted to get a divorce. Lori did tell me that she, page 410, thought about divorcing Steven earlier. However, she was scared to, and she knew if she started the divorce on her own, he would eventually hurt her. Lori indicates while Steven was in prison, he would have had other people watching her. Lori states when she would move to a new house, she would get pictures of the new house in the mail from Steven, and that's how she knew she was being watched. Lori did state that while she was married to Steven, she had ended up at a domestic violence center on several occasions. At that time, according to Lori, the domestic violence center was in a secret location in Manitowoc County. According to Lori, Steven had found out somehow where the domestic violence center was and showed up there. She states he had to be removed from the domestic violence center on one occasion back in either 1983 or 1984. We asked Lori if anybody in Steven's family knew about the domestic abuse going on, to which Lori stated she believes they did, but they would never tell the truth about the abuse. Lori did tell me she had confided in her parents, Earl and Pearl Matheson, of 2226 14th Street, Two Rivers. Telephone number 920-553-3389. Lori also stated her sisters knew the abuse was going on. Lori also told me she informed Beth Schramm, who is her friend that lives on Sandy Lane Hill in Two Rivers, about Steven abusing her. Beth would have been her closest friend at the time. Lori stated the last time she had been at the Avery compound would have been around Labor Day weekend for Bobby's graduation. She stated the only reason they went to the graduation is because her current husband is Bobby's father. I asked Lori if Steven had given her any problems since he'd gotten out of prison. Lori states that since Steven was out of prison for the most part, he has left her alone. She states she avoids him at all costs. The only one she knows who has regular contact with him would be her daughter, Jennifer. Lori states she did learn from Jennifer that Barbara had been making comments about the letters that Steven had sent from prison. Apparently, Barbara told Jennifer that if her mom, meaning Lori, thinks she is getting Steven by the letters, they have letters that she, meaning Lori, had sent to him. Again, Lori basically laughed it off and stated those letters she had sent to Steven were letters she was writing because she was venting and using Steven as a venting board. Agent Fassbender asked Lori if she had ever heard of anything about Steven and Blank having a relationship. Lori states the only thing she heard was a rumor that Steven and Blank had a thing going on. Lori also stated to us she heard rumors that Steven had beaten the crap out of his girlfriend Jody. Okay, you guys, let's start a review. We're going to start on page 401. And notice that date of activity is blank, which is not usual for these reports. They state female white for Shannon Schroeder, but then they say he, so that's confusing. But what's more confusing to me is this report of a fire on County Highway B at a brick house, which is being destroyed. You guys, bricks are baked in an oven, a brick oven. You're not going to burn bricks. They're not going to. So I find that very confusing. And then Shannon goes on to state, after that Monday, there was again another fire following that Monday as well in a later date. Interesting. Now this may get a little confusing, but I just want you to stay with me. This is page 402. Again, date of activity is blank. And we're talking about Jeremy Hawkins. And Wiegert requested him and Rick to do some stuff. At, they're locating items for transport for the crime lab. Okay? Now, what's interesting is we have this 55-gallon barrels with miscellaneous items inside bearing property tags 642, 643, and 644. Where is the barrel 645 at this point? So I've jumped us back to 248, and you can see here we've got the numbers from Rick Reamer, and he's got 642, 643, 644, and 645. Where in the world did 645 go in this? Do we have a 7102? No, I don't see that they have 7102 as a property tag number at this point. However, this is Rick Reamer, and he's talking about taking these items. Okay, he's talking about processing them here, and he talks about they turned over to me property tag 7958 burnt material with the words Deer Camp burnt barrel printed on the container. So we're back on 248 to verify where 645 went. So yeah, why did they just lose barrel 645? But now we have a burn barrel number 7102 that we didn't have before. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me unless they have switched off the 645 barrel as the 7102 barrel. They talk about two other metal barrels with burnt material. They don't talk about what their names are, but they do give them 7921 and 7922. Now, if we remember, 7922 was barrel 4. Okay? Let's look here. Where was it? Yeah. It had right here, property tag number, and this is back on page 888, or actually forward, it's going to be on 888. Here, they state that 7922 is a metal barrel with burnt material, and the barrel has the number 4 on it. So number 4 has been switched out to 7922. So the question is, with all this barrel switching and labeling, which is the correct answer? Is the barrel that is 645 that is no more, is that property tag 7922? Or is that property tag number 7102? It's so confusing. They just don't make it any easier by switching up these barrels. So we do know that 7922 is number 4. Now, if you look at this burn material tarp, they've given it barrel property tag number 7923. And I want us to always be familiar with that burn tarp, or the brown tarp, with burnt material is 7923. Because where did that material come from? Let's see if we can't find it in another location. So we do find it discussed on page 403, which we're going to get to, as well as, let's see here, 7923, a brown tarp with burnt material inside. Again, we're on 888, which we're going to be talking about that. That's all the way forward in April. We're still back. What date are we in? I believe we are in, let's jump back real quick. Whoops, sorry about that. Okay, we are back here, and oh, that's right, December. So they're going to mess with this whole mess again in April with the same people. very confusing. And I just wanted to really go over this. We have a Toyota key bearing property tag 7620. We have a single key 8114, and again the two sets of keys on the 2003 keyring 8012. And the box of contents of the cell phone barrel is property 8316. Now on page 403, they talk about this barrel that is a 50-gallon burn barrel that was 1/2 full of material, bearing property tag number 7102. I really think this 7102 was 645 at one point, and that they've relabeled it. Just a hunch. Mainly because it keeps referring to 1/2 full, 1/4 full, and so forth on burn barrel 645, and then it disappears, and all of a sudden we have 7102. Just interesting. Now, if you look down to property tag 8313, this is an empty box when it's given to Deputy Reamer. And we're talking about, like I said, we're in this case, oops, I skipped it. Sorry about that. In this case, we're in December. And what empty box? What was in the box? What was the box containing? Well, if we look ahead, we can look at page 907. We find 8313 is a RAV4 license plate with 06 sticker. Okay, so they kept the license plate and sent back an empty box. All right. Okay, let's jump to 404. We're again with Jeremy Hawkins. We're in January of 0606, and he's talking about 8316 being readied, which is the contents of the cell phone barrel, and it's given to the FBI, not till January. Page 405, we're on the January 12th, and they're talking about the golf cart bearing property tag number 8666. They find a possible black hair strand, which was located on the seat of the golf cart. I don't know, you guys. How long ago did they collect the golf cart? Was it still being driven around? Had they collected it back in November? Or are they just now getting that? Because if it's much later, then why would they even collect the hair? And then they talk about on the seat of the golf cart and the floorboard that they luminol it and that it reacts, and that this item, this blue golf cart, is going to be sent down to Wisconsin State Crime Lab. So it's reacting as though it's blood. Now, bleach can react to it as well, but why would you bleach your golf cart? Unless you're cleaning up blood and trying to hide it. Who was driving the golf cart? Earl? Earl was driving a golf cart at the time, down by where Teresa's RAV was supposed to be, that he claims him and Robert Fabian did not see. Now, we're going to go to page 406. Aha moment. They talk about a silver cardboard box that is in the back of the RAV that's been put there from the crime lab. So they talk about the items that were stored in the back of the RAV at the crime lab, some of which were found in the RAV. And they say the 8 paper bags, the cardboard box, and the tripod were taken out of the RAV. Also in the driver's seat was an envelope containing the drive shaft bolts and stuff. But the silver cardboard box is actually in a photograph, and it's sitting on top. And they call it a silver cardboard box. It's sitting on top of the RAV in the pictures on the Avery salvage yard. I am desperately wanting to know what's in this silver cardboard box, you guys. So if you look at the picture where the RAV is sitting, it is sitting on the Avery Salvage Yard. Right here is the box. It's crunched down. It's stored on top of the hood of the girl that's missing her vehicle. What is in this box when they find it? What did the planter or the killer have in this duct tape, duct tape covered box? And is that why they're so obsessed with duct tape? Because this box is wrapped in duct tape. I mean, it is made waterproof for some reason. And it is an outside day where it's going to rain. And that's why they supposedly, allegedly, the reason why they tarp that. I just find that very confusing. And then let's see if we can get a better picture. I don't know if we can get a better picture, but we can see it again. Let's pull up this picture to see if it shows up here. Kind of. It's very hard to see. Let's go back and we'll see if we can get one more picture. Oh, let's see. Just scrolling around a little bit. Here it is. This is the best picture ever of it. And you can clearly see it's duct tape. So let's go ahead and open that picture. We'll give it just a minute. Oh, I've got it way too large. Let's make that a little smaller for you to be able to see. Oh, it's not wanting to work for me. There. Take a look at that. What was originally in this? Just sitting there. It's covered in duct tape. Is this why Manitowoc and Calumet are constantly looking for duct tape? What would have been in this box with the duct tape? All right, I've jumped ahead to page 407 where we're with Jeremy Hawkins. And we're talking about, he's saying the following items were taken to Dane County Coroner's Office and released to Deputy Coroner Barry Erdman. And they talk about property tag number 7960, which is burnt bone. And we know that 7960 burnt bone came from deer camp. And let's see how we can know that. Let's just jump ahead a little bit here. Oh, let me see here. Where is it? I want to say it was right in here somewhere. I remember it. Yes, here we are. So on page 248, one of the most important pages in the CASO, again, we have the missing barrel that we don't have now, 645. But if you look down here, property tag number 7960 is burnt bone from the deer camp area, which was turned over to him at 1017, and it was turned over to Rick Kramer. They just play and play and play with the evidence, don't they? So now we're on property tag number 7942, bone fragment box with files of hair, fiber, and metal. Page 408, we are talking about sending hair, fiber, burying property 8676 to the Wisconsin Crime Lab. Whose hair? Why do we not know whose hair? And then the last little bit is mostly here about Lori Dassey, which is Steven's ex-wife, and I just don't hold a lot of stock in exes because we, if we are an ex or we've had an ex, we know there's conflict of interest as to how they're going to talk about someone. But she does make the point that she has been to the Avery compound, as they call it, compound, around Labor Day for Bobby Dassey's graduation. Why did she go back to the Averys? Because she married, she was Steve Avery's ex-wife. While he was in prison, she divorced him, and she turned around and she married Pete Dassey, who had been married at one time to Barb Tadich. So Barb Tadich and Steven Avery are brother-sister. Their exes get married. And that's how we're going to leave you on this read. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on this week's read. And that completes the first read of the week. I sure wish they'd quit switching these property tags around. It's so hard to keep track of these barrels, but there is some switching going on. Obviously, we've lost barrel 645 in evidence somehow, but we've gained barrel 7102. So most likely what has happened is 645 has been sent down to the crime lab, and the crime lab has relabeled it, which they do, is my guess. But it's just a guess because they don't document this. If you didn't do the crime, you guys, you know what? You shouldn't do the time. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll leave you looking at this little barrel here. Have a great day, and hopefully you'll join me tomorrow.